folks, to the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries tonight, live from Sandown International Motor Raceway. What is round 2 of season 13 of the Sports Sedans, and we head down in the GT4 cars tonight to get things underway shortly. What will be a 2-race format tonight, 12 lapper, and then we come back for a full reverse grid race straight after. So it's going to be action aplenty tonight. Let's take you down and have a quick look at the practice times as we sit 14 minutes, about halfway into practice at the moment. And welcome to everyone that's just tuning in and sharing the stream. G'day Keith, thank you for the stars and welcome aboard, mate. We'll be back with more of this. It's been one of my favourite series to broadcast since starting doing this a long time ago. As we look at the Spitfire flying over the famous race course of Sandown, let's take you down to the track. Look at some cars out there. Benjamin Roberts out there currently circulating around for Mini Muscle Cars Machine Cult in the McLaren tonight. We've got 4 McLarens out there tonight, which should be pretty exciting. Let's turn up the sound of the cars, turn down my my music, and enjoy some of this GT4 action. So heading across to these cars for this short series, and then going back to the full-blown GT3 cars for the next one, and maybe some big bangers in there as well. There's Ryan Simpson, the Parramatta Smash Repairs out there tonight. Cars looking good, cars looking shiny. That's what the good thing about iRacing, you can ding them up a bit and they get fixed very quickly. Eddie Metz is out there as well. And tonight, Dandenong Brake and Clutch are our major sponsor, and there's Eddie in the DBC car, the Mercedes-Benz tonight, looking very, very pristine and ready for action. I'll be joined shortly by Ran, who's going to have a chat with us. He may even come and do some commentating tonight. Just trying to see if he's out on the track. He's not yet. He's in the pit lane. Rude Questra's there tonight as well. If you're here to see someone in particular, now's a good time to let me know so I can give them some airtime. There is the Aston Martin, looking very pretty as well. Big wide bodied car out there. And also we've got circulating Brendan Jenner in the Mercedes tonight. Shane Nichols, another driver in the very narrow BMW. Kurt Bond out in their Porsche, the bright yellow Porsche. You'll see him sneaking along here. Just behind Gretsch is in the car in front, the BMW in front. But the number 9 tonight, watch him in the Porsche. Can he have a good outing? Will this track be suited to the Porsche compared to some of the more, bigger cars like the Aston Martin and the McLaren? Joined now by Ran. How are you, Ran? Welcome to the broadcast booth for round 2 of the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries.
We are back, aren't we, at sunny Sandown, which
sunny Sandown
isn't always the case in Melbourne.
It looks good in the sim, clear sky. I haven't even gone through the weather yet, but let's have a quick look at the track conditions. Nice and cold, as everyone likes. 20 degrees track temp, 18 ambient, 7:50 in the morning, clear sky. I love it. It's good broadcasting weather.
I try and do that for you and them. So, as we've talked about, I try not to get yelled at too much by everybody. So, a cool track and a nice clear sky keeps everybody happy.
Cars look good too, mate. Tonight we're sponsored by Dandenong Brake and Clutch. Big thanks to Eddie and the crew.
Yeah, you'll have to drag Eddie in to tell you all about. He raced at Phillip Island last weekend, and I think he got some seconds and thirds, and possibly first in class. But let him tell you all about that.
Well, he's not running around now. Should we grab him right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's grab him in for a chat. He's probably doing his race preparations, putting a final buff coat on the on the exterior of the car. But Eddie, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Very good. There for tonight's race. We're just giving you a bit of a thank you. Thanks again for sponsoring. But, mate, Ram was just saying you've had a couple of good outings in the real race cars of late.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Actually, had an awesome weekend last weekend. But, yeah.
And, no one ran into you, I think, which is always good, isn't it, Eddie?
Yeah, correct.
Unlike Winton.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was good. Awesome weekend. A lot better than I expected, put it that way.
Are you saying someone ran into you in real life at Winton or just in the sim?
No, in the real life.
Oh. I thought it only happened to you in the sim.
Major. In the sim, I'm used to it.
It's a lot less painful as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, the car looks good, Eddie. You're currently P10 in this practice session. Have you had much chance to practice? How does it feel underneath you? And have you done any laps around Sandown in real life?
Oh, of course, yeah, done plenty. No, for tonight, I literally just jumped on. I haven't tested it at all. So
sounds like everyone.
It is what it is. But, I've driven around Sandown a fair few times, which does help a little bit.
How does it compare, mate? Are the bumps there the same as in real life? Is it pretty good?
Yeah, it's pretty crap. I hate Sandown.
I reckon the sim's actually a lot more nicer than real track. The real track, it feels like when you get there, you're like, is there something wrong with my car? It bangs around that much.
Yeah, correct. You get some vibrations that you didn't know you had.
Yeah, it's a bit spooky if you haven't been there for a while, isn't it, Eddie?
Yeah, definitely. But personally, Sandown is a track where I raced probably the most, and only won once. Blew like 3 engines, smashed like 3 times. It's just like, yeah, I hate it.
Do you want to talk us through a lap, Eddie, while you're out there racing at the moment?
Yeah, I can try.
So we'll just banter around until he gets around to the start-finish, but he's looking pretty smooth out there. Currently P10.
Yeah, young Eddie. He's actually pretty good at the sim. I'm pretty impressed by how he does on it.
I've taken him out once, so as we talk about him getting taken out in the sim, I remember the time I took him out as well.
Did you take him out? Did you buy dinner afterwards?
No, I didn't. I just smashed him and ran.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Eddie, let's go. Talk us through a lap here at Sandown, mate.
Yeah, got in 5th flat. I'll try to slow it down for the first one as much as I can.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad, but down to 2nd here. I'm still trying to find the real lines here, but this corner I try to be gentle because you can accelerate faster.
So it's all about the exit there, right, for a big long straightaway?
Yeah, on that turn 4 you don't ride the left-hand curb. Don't ask me why, but usually you smash it in turn 6 after that because it breaks your steering arm.
Yeah, right.
And how do you find the AMG rides the curbs? It looks like it's not too bad.
It's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't think I've got the right setup. I'm just on a base thing with the wing down. I just locked it up, but
Oh, you got it stopped?
yeah, just.
It's definitely a lot less scary across the top in the sim than it is real life.
Well, actually, no, since they widened the track there, it got actually a lot faster.
Yeah, I know, which means everyone's even more aggressive through there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I've seen some scary moments there since it's been repaired.
That's a pretty good lap, mate. But yeah, no, it's smooth. And, you know, Benjamin Roberts, Ryan Simpson currently setting the top times up in the mid-11s. It's pretty close between the top 2, but then a bit of a gap. And then from 6th back, you guys are all within 2 tenths. So it's going to be pretty busy again in the mid-pack. I think that's the flavour of this series.
Yeah, the racing is usually good. Yeah, until they get taken out, but
it's just the occasional one, isn't it, Eddie?
Yeah, I don't worry about it too much anymore. It is what it is.
Eddie, tell us quickly about your business, mate. Dandenong Brake and Clutch. Tell us what you guys do, where people can find you, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, you can find us on the Facebook, on the phone. We obviously sell car parts, and obviously the other part fixes it in the workshop. We can do any repairs to cars and supply most of the parts, mainly brakes and clutches, but any parts.
Do you specialise in any vehicles, or is it everything?
They're all shit boxes.
What, say like Commodores?
Any car, they're all shit boxes.
They're all shit boxes. They kind of are, aren't they?
Are you still on the tools, Eddie, yourself?
Nah.
Off
No,
the
I don't
tools.
have time for that.
Too busy on the race cars.
He's too busy on the sim, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got other things to do, but yeah, very rarely I'm on tools lately for the last few years.
Oh, very good, mate. All right, well, you've got yourself about 7 minutes to perfect your setup. Any late changes you think you'll make? Drop a bit of fuel out, maybe?
Yeah, just for quality, I'll put a bit less fuel and try and get a draft from someone.
You got to remember to put the fuel back in for the race, though.
Yeah, correct.
I've fallen for that one many a time, but Rand, it's good to see round 2 of the series. Last round was a cracker, mate, and what's the format for tonight? We've got a 12 lapper and then a full reverse grid, if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah, with just 20 laps, so nothing crazy. We're sticking to what we did last season. That's the lap count we did, and I felt that the second race was long enough that it was hard work. So yeah, short and sweet, I suppose. These cars are definitely a different beast to drive around this track compared to the GT3 cars. I thought it was going to be really easy, to be honest, picking these, but I actually find them a lot harder to get the lap speed out of them, because you really have to make sure you don't sacrifice too much in the corners. So look, it's good. Yeah, a lot of the guys are finding it a challenge, and what have we got, 22 entrants tonight? I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, it's a good size field.
Yeah, I think we always say we're hoping to get at least 20, aren't we? So that sort of gives us a nice feel. It's something for you to talk about, something for people to watch as well.
Yeah, some nice deliveries out there too. Just looking at Samuel Collins, he's gone with the pit stop model cars on the door, and it just looks nice. So everyone's putting in a bit of effort to make the cars pretty again, which I love.
Yeah, I think only Brett Dickey has got a standard paint because he has been quite busy with work and sponsorship and whatnot, and been a rockstar race driver, but that's okay. Just like when Chris came in the other night, the guys that race real sports sedans, if they don't have time, I've made Chris a paint, but I didn't have a chance to do one for Brett, I don't think. So, yeah, we definitely want to always, if any of the sports sedan guys want to actually hop in for a race, try and accommodate that, because obviously was the original concept of the series as well. So, yeah, a little bit of concessions here and there for the boys.
And just looking at Colin Smith there for a moment, he's back in the pits now, but I think last time we left off Series 12, he was actually jumping out of the real world car and giving up his drive and game, just owner and management side of things.
Yeah, he has, and on his Facebook, he's mainly just on holidays with his wife and kids.
Beautiful.
His boys. So I think he's pretty happy. Ashley Jarvis is driving Colin's car. So Jarvis won TA2, I think possibly the first series of it in Australia.
Okay.
If it was not the first, it was the second, but it was one of the first ones. And he's doing okay. He got back in the car for Taylor Bend and did quite well. They had to wait on engine parts, which is a bit of a problem at the moment with the whole shipping and COVID world that we live in now with parts. So, but they're back on track, and the National Sports Sedans are actually back out in a few weeks at Sydney Motorsport Park for the next round.
Yeah, right. Awesome.
So that's a combined round with New South Wales, and Youth South Wales actually ran last weekend like the 2 Litre guys did, obviously at different tracks. One was at Phillip Island, one was at Sydney Motorsport Park. Obviously, because you guys up in New South Wales now are in the unfortunate position to actually only have kind of one track at the moment.
Yeah, Wakefield's been completely ruined as well, so that's what you're referring to. I've been keeping an eye on what's happening with it. Obviously, I know nothing really about it, but it does look very ominous that Wakefield is going to struggle to get back to it. But again, I don't know anything more than anyone else does, but just an outsider looking in, it looks a bit more worrying. I heard a whisper the other day, which, we'll take it as a whisper, but I think Goulburn's going to get behind overturning the ruling, because apparently it was in the original DA, the 4 days a month thing, and it's they did some calculation. I think it's 17 million was the figure I heard. Now I'm just, like I say, talking a bit out of school, and from what I heard, but $17 million a year is what the local economy will lose if Wakefield is cut back to 4 days a month. So I think you'll find Goulburn Council might change their mind and get behind the track.
But it is a bit of a hard one, isn't it? From looking at the court documents again, only from what we've read, that there's a bit more to it.
Yeah.
So, look, I suppose would we both agree? We hope that some sort of resolution comes out of it that satisfies everyone to some degree, and we can race there, and they can operate it as business profitably and good for the town and good for everybody. And obviously, there's a lot more to it. It's not just someone being grumpy.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think it seems Wakefield seem to be very positive and very. I like the way they're handling it. They're saying don't be silly to people that possibly and I think we can only try and be positive about the stuff, and it's a different world we live in now. Obviously Sandown, where we're racing tonight, we won't have that for much longer. They've said that. Unfortunately, money and housing is more important than car racing. Yeah, and I understand that, even though I don't agree. I reckon every time I go past an AFL football or a football place, I'm like, they should just turn that into a racetrack, like a sprint car track or a go-kart track. And that's just me. And now, obviously, we're in the minority. But look, I suppose the good thing is that I've heard that Calder might be coming online in Victoria again. Obviously, it doesn't help. And,
I actually heard, Rand, that in some parts of Dandenong they do turn the AFL fields into a sprint car track at night.
Well, I grew up back in the old Dandy drag days, so it was a pretty interesting old area back in the day. Taking XYs and HQ Monaros and Tiranas down there and drag racing, but we don't promote that sort of thing.
Of course not.
It was like a long time ago, so I think the statute of limitations has passed, so we're okay.
Oh, cool, man. Well, I'm looking forward to this again tonight. Like, I know you've been working flat out with your day job and stuff, but Mate, it's good that we can still turn this on a, what is it, Wednesday night, and
yeah.
do
Look,
some entertainment.
I'm really impressed for yourself that you've been able to get along, and obviously that 20 other drivers have been able to. I know it's hard. Like I'm staffed. I'm very busy at the moment, and I know a lot of guys are. And I'm going to probably tonight do a bit of chatting and a bit of I'm so far off the pace, 2.7 seconds. It's a bit embarrassing, but yeah, I think I'll have a bit of a chat with you because I know that you've been working pretty hard, so take a bit of the stress away from you as well. And yeah, it's great that it does give the guys something to do, to focus on, a bit of fun. And I think we've sort of moved a little bit towards the series being a bit more fun. Obviously, we've gone over it over COVID times. It was a bit more serious, and we got a bit more excited about things. And for the most part, that's disappeared. So that's good. Obviously, no one likes being run into. But even as Eddie said, he's trying to it's a grain of salt, I suppose. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'll leave my mic open. Sorry, Ran. I'll leave my mic open so when you do just come in, just announce yourself.
Yeah. I will. I'll be like, hello. But the good thing is that there's lots of real sports sedan racing going on at the moment, and there's a lot of exciting cars coming to sports sedans. There's a new car that came, a Mercedes from South Africa, that's been passed by Motorsport Australia with an LS in it. So that's really cool.
Awesome.
And we're qualifying, aren't we?
We are qualifying. So yeah, good luck, man. Have a crack anyway and see how you go.
I'll go and never go, won't I? Even last is okay. It's weird.
Last is first in the reverse grid race.
Oh my God, that's scary for everybody, yes.
Good luck, Ran.
Cheers, buddy.
Ran McClurkin having a chat with us before we go to qualifying now as we head across, and the cars will peel out of the pit lane. Quali time, and what do they get, 10 minutes out there? I love this series, how they put them all out on the track together. So as you heard Eddie Metz say, he might try and steal a little bit of a tow just to get that little bit of slipstream, that little bit of extra pull around the track. And that will be very, very worthwhile in this very close qualifying session. Let's get rid of music. Let's crank up the noise of these GT4 cars for tonight's Series 13, Round 2 of the Australian Sports Sedans, and it is our 606th broadcast tonight. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. 606. Righto, hello Graham. Thank you for the stars earlier too, mate. I did see it while I was chatting away with Ran there. G'day, mate. G'day, Mr. Logan. And who have we got over on YouTube tonight? Sure, new pitcrew, she says. Let's have a quick look. Let's see what Roo has as his new profile picture. Where is he? Is he out on the track? He is, Mr. Koistra. Formula Racing Group's driver right now. I see your baby. He's got the see your baby picture. And the car looking very, very smart indeed. It's got the I see your baby on the back as well. And very good looking race car. Just taking it pretty easy on the outlap, these drivers, as you can see. They're putting around, I think, trying to keep the tyres ready to rumble for this flying lap now. And Roo gets underway. So Simpson is just behind him. We'll get a little bit of a tow off the back of the Aston Martin. Further up the road, Eddie Metz. Has he got himself that tow he was hoping for? He has. He's currently tucked up behind Michael Fowson. So let's jump on board here with Eddie, who'll be looking to nail this first qualifying lap. You can hear it bang and crunch over the curbs there. So it's exit so important onto the back straightaway, and he gets a pretty good run out of there in the 57 car. And like I said, behind Fowson and Carroll's just in front of them as well. Hayden Carroll, who's gone back to, let me have a quick look over at Hayden. Where's he gone? He's down there, NSR eSports. So changing back to the NSR eSports team, and sitting down there at the moment in the Merc as well, coming through to finish a lap. So let's flick it into quali mode. You'll start to see some sectors down the bottom. We're looking for purples, of course. If you see purple, that means the best out of anyone. If you see a green, it's a personal best sector. Get involved in the chat tonight if you're on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Say good day. And let's make this a night to remember. As Roberts crosses the line, goes P1 with a 111.96. Carroll goes second, crossing the line. How does Simpson go? He gets a pretty good exit off the curb there. He'll run to the line now in the Merc, and Simpson crosses the line and goes with that P4 behind Koistra, who puts a time in. Samuel Collins jumps up to third now behind Hayden Carroll. And currently, look at that time as well, 65 thousandths of a second between Carroll and the provisional pole sitter Roberts. So really close at the top. That's good to see. And a quick time as well. The only person to duck into the 11s so far is Benjamin Roberts. Eddie Metz currently 8th, Fowles 9th, and Tony Don rounding out your top 10. There he is. Let's have a look at Randy's out there on the track in the Machine Colt Machine Motorsports, and 54, great paint job once again on the Aston Martin. Massive contrast to what Rue Coyster was running with the all white, and Rand's gone all black, of course. Up on 2 wheels as he goes through there. Great looking shot. Now onto the back straight, so see what he can do. Roberts has just done another couple of purple sectors. He's going to increase that time now, and he does 4/10 quicker. That was on 11.6 now, 1:11.6 for Roberts. What can Carroll do in response? G'day, Will Wilson. Welcome aboard tonight, man. As Ryan Simpson's off. There's 2 cars off there, and with the ruling of if you hit the fence and break the car, you're out of qualifying, that might be the end of it. Is it Shane Nichols, the other one that's gone around there? So the BMW and the Mercedes possibly getting together in a qualifying incident. We look back further there, that's Mark Pryor. Oh, almost getting into the back of one of the cars going into the pits. We will have sprint races tonight, no pit stops required, as we watch Pryor go across the line, P15, 1.9 seconds off the pace. And back further in the pack, you can see Brett Dickey. Ram McClurkin puts a time in now, 2.6 off the pace. Ross Hansen behind him in the Porsche crosses, 2.8 off the pace. And then Brett Dickey to round out your 18th. So far, 4 qualifiers have not qualified a time, as Fowles goes quickest of anyone through the middle sector. Let's go and have a look at Michael. He's getting a good slipstream here off the back of one of the McLarens. So one of the Maccas, I think it's Tony Don, give him a great slipstream down the back straightaway, hence the purple sector. He'll be seeing that on his relative, and he'll be thinking, if I can carry this to the flag, this could be pole position. So provisionally on pole at the moment, it is Benjamin Roberts, who's back in the pits. With that time, Fowles goes P5 within 9/10 of a second. Lost a little bit in the final sector, but the middle sector was absolutely on par with the best. So nice lap. That puts him in 5th behind Collins, Jenner, Carroll and Roberts, who's parked it up in the pits as Don gets out of shape there. Eddie Metz just in front of him, still P10, 1.4 off the top time, and hoping to improve with just on 4 and a bit minutes to go. Thanks to Rand for sharing the stream. Also, Graham shared the stream tonight. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Tag a few friends if they've never seen sim racing before. This is a good series to whet the appetite and show them what it's all about. Roberts has come out again for another final lap. Maybe tweaked the qualifying setup, maybe just took a little bit more fuel out, or maybe put a bit more fuel in. Maybe he's happy with that time now, and he's just put in the race fuel and wants to just get a feel for how it's going to behave on that opening lap. Obviously the Mini Muscle Car, sponsored car, has been dominant throughout these series, doing very, very well. Hayden Carroll, P2, is in the lane. He has put it to bed for now, I think. We won't see him again in qualifying. And then Jenner and Collins with 1,000 rounding out your top 5. Coyster's parked up in 6th. Eddie Metz up into 7th now, so good lap there by Eddie. Maybe he did get that little toe. He's gone within 1.3 seconds of your race leader. And behind Metz, you've got Knockolds and Nichols there as well. Shane Nichols up into 9th place. Let's have a quick look at Shane in the BMW. So currently sitting 1.3. It's so close. Those Metz, Knockolds and Nichols all within about 5/100ths of a second. So it's super close there between them. On board now in the BMW. And he's gone deep in there, so that's going to ruin that lap. There he is, Shane Nichols. That lap's now done. Medson at the moment, 13th place. He's giving a tow to, I think, one of his, is it his teammate just behind? The BMW's working together. Now Simpson goes within 1/10 of pole position. So good lap there. He's just given that tow up. Medson's teammate. So that was a bit of, in fact, it was Medson giving the tow to his teammate. And they've just given that up now, and it was Jordan Knockolds who continues on ahead. And let's see if that helped at all. Didn't see any sector times pop up as purple, so not sure that worked out as they'd planned. Good time by Ryan Simpson, like I said, within 1/10 of a second of Roberts on pole position. Your top 3 covered by 4/10 of a second. Colin Smith hopefully about to set a time here because he's got nothing on the board yet. Crosses now outside the 19. And does he get a time? He doesn't. Roberts has gone quicker again in the first sector. So Colin Smith must be having some off tracks here. And he's going to have one shot at setting a lap time now around this lap. Roberts does go purple, now goes a 10th quicker overall to do an 11.43, so he turns the week up a little bit more once again. Luke Crum in the Macca as well has not set a lap time, so it's Crum, Bond and Smith, the three drivers to not set a lap time, and Knockholes just pulled to the side of the track as we go back to Crum, finishing his lap up over the curb, down onto the front straightaway. Not the front straightaway yet. I was a little ahead of myself. A couple of corners to go. I love the McLarens. They don't breathe fire in the GT4 variant as they do in the GT3 variant. That's for sure. Watching Simpson to see if there's anything for him in this final run at the flag. He's gone, I think, yellow in one of the sectors, so I'm not sure he's going to improve here. So the current state, he's 4/10 off pole. And he's not getting any sort of assistance from a tow either, which I wonder if Roberts got a little bit of a tow, and he lights up the rear as well, which won't help the cause. So there you go, a couple of yellow sectors. In fact, the track may be just dropping off slightly as no one is setting sectors or pressing anyone at this stage and into the pit lane. So he's back right off. Koistra, P7, good qualifying performance so far on his final attempt. He's gone really wild through there and runs across the grass. That will mean that lap won't count as well, unfortunately for Root. And we just wait now for the final couple of cars. 7 seconds to go. I think you're going to find we're out of time. It's time to go to race 1. 12 laps here around Sandown Raceway for the Australian Sports Sedans eSeries, live on RACESTARS TV. We have a look at your qualifying results up on the screen right now, and pole position goes to Benjamin Roberts with a 1:11.435, nearly 3/10 quicker than Ryan Simpson, Carroll, Jenna and Collins, your top 5. And that order will be now pushed across to the grid, and this is how they will start race number 1 tonight. Roberts off the front row, beside him Simpson, second row Carroll and Jenna. Then it's Collins and Falzon off the third row, followed by Koistra and Hansen, your top 8. 9th on the grid, Eddie Metz, our sponsor for tonight. Luke Crum will start from 10th, and it's Tony Don and Jordan Knockholes, your top 12. 13th on the grid, Tony Don with the Jordan Knockholes running at your top 12. And then it's Medson and Nichols. Aldermans will start from 15th tonight with Mark Pryor starting in 16th. Then it's Aaron Gretsch and Luke Blackman in 18th. Colin Smith from 19th on the grid, and Ram McClurkin starting from 20th. Machine Cult Motorsports 21st, Brett Dickey, Kurt Bond 22nd on the grid, and that's it. 22 drivers, rolling start here. They will do a lap behind the safety car here at Sandown to get underway for the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries, live on RACESTARS TV. Roll off for this. In fact, it's going to be a short run in, which is nice. They're not going to do the full lap, so just from after the back straightaway, it's 6, 7 and 8 I think, and then we're going to go down this little short squirt and then get underway for this 12 lap first race. Progressive grid, of course, but the little bit of a twist to that is, even though you might move up a few spaces in race 1, it's then a full reverse grid for race 2. Brendan Jenner racing one-handed again. Good luck tonight, mate. He's going to start from the second row. We're about to get underway, waiting for the green. The Mustang pulls off into the pit lane, and Benjamin Roberts will hold back. You can see the foot on the brake. In fact, they're just touching the brake pedal. They're keeping themselves nicely lined up. We wait for that green flag to drop, and then we will get underway. You can see the starter just waiting now. It's a long hold halfway down the straightaway, and wait for it, wait for it. It's testing when they've got to hold this long for the starter's orders. Now we should get the green, and we do. Good jump off the second row. You can see that straight away. The red Mercedes moving up a position. Brendan Jenner with a fantastic run there. 3 wide down into the first corner. In the background, Simpson got squeezed slightly. Falzon as well went wide through there. Roberts made the perfect get-go, and so far so good. No contact as Koistra goes up around the outside of, I think that was Ross Hansen. It's busy in the mid-pack as well, but up in front, getting away nicely. Roberts leads from Jenner. And then you've got Simpson, Carroll, Fowson, Collins, Koistra, Hansen. Behind Hansen, it's Metz, Crum, Don, and Knockolds, your top 12. And they're battling at the back as well. Here goes Roberts down through the flip-flop for the first time. And where's that cameraman gone there? He's gone for a bit of a holiday. There's a good shot, though, as they snake their way down the hill. And look at that in the background as well. Making up a few positions was Colin Smith. Up 3 spots in this opening lap, so good job by him. But leading us onto the pit straight for the first time, Roberts by 0.8 of a second got the perfect jump tonight. And heads down the pit straight, trying to weave and duck and move away from his fellow competitors. How about that first lap time of 1:10.42? So an absolutely screaming lap time there. Is that right? Because that's quicker than his qualifying time off a rolling start. And I think that's to do with actually the timing point from where the lap started possibly, and that's why that's a little bit hello. So Roberts leading. Let's have a look back into this battle right now with Fowson leading Collins, Koistra, and a train of cars. Eddie Metz at the back of that. Let's jump on board with him. Hello Brett, nice to have you watching tonight, mate, and everyone else that's tuning in. Get behind these drivers, a lot of them real world race car drivers and fans and support crews for the sports sedans as well. Fantastic series and a fantastic bunch of guys. There's Metz at the moment, just running a little bit wide through there. He's got Luke Crum and Tony Don not far behind. Luke Crum on board with him. You give a little bit of a nudge there to the back of Eddie Metz. Eddie will tell you if he did. Very, very close. Don closes up under brakes as well, while ahead of them, Fowson still leading this train of cars. He's now 3 seconds off the back of Hayden Carroll. And he's run very wide through there. That'll give a chance for Samuel Collins now to get a little bit of an overlap. So down the pit straight on board with Collins. You can see how far up the road the top 4 drivers are already. They're already going through turn 1. In behind Jenner is Simpson, starting to battle pretty hard, trying to get himself up into P2 once again. And at the front, Roberts is checking out here on lap 3. On board now with Ryan Simpson. See what sort of speed they work their way up to down the back straight. 210 clicks and climbing. 225, 230. 233 I think it peaked at there for these GT4 cars. Lockie Barlow in the house says, hey Luke, just got home from work, spewing I missed tonight. I'm stuffed, yeah. We're all in the same boat, man, and yeah, we're going to miss you tonight. It's a crazy week. It feels like a Friday to me. It's only Wednesday. I think I've done well over 40 something hours this week in the last 3 days, so while staff shortages are there, I think we're all working to do what we've got to do at the moment, aren't we? As we jump back to Ross Hansen in the Porsche, chasing down the McLaren of Fowson. He's got Luke Crum. In fact, there's 3 McLarens here within 6 cars. Fowson in 6th, then you got Crum in 8th and Tony Don in 10th. So the 3 McLarens all huddled together and looking up towards the P1 position as well, where the other McLaren is hiding in the lead. Further back in the pack, here is Brett Dickey, 17th. And he's got Gretsch, Blattman, Bond, McClurkin, and I'm not sure what happened to Koistra, but dropped way back. Barlow with a 5:30 start till 7:45 at night. Yep, that's pretty much what I've been cranking to. 6 to 8 most days. So it's 6. You say you work from 6 to 8, and people go, "What? You work 2 hours a day?" It's like, no, 14 hours a day. Yeah, that's what you got to do at the moment. Benjamin Roberts here. I don't know, what do you think? He's in a world of his own, isn't he? He's locked into this track and this car combination, and he's pulled nearly a 3-second gap here on the rest of the field. Now Dickey's off in the gravel trap. I think that was Medicine with him. Was there an incident there? Let's have a quick look. We might even go back and have a look at the Ruud Koistra one as well. So here's a quick replay of the Brett Dickey one first of all. Now there was, oh no, he just speared it straight into the fence, and is that what caught? No, he did it all by himself. Didn't catch anyone out on, well, thankfully. Let's have a look at the Ruud Koistra incident, which happened a little bit before that as well. Koistra had spun, or already at that stage. He must have gone around earlier. Let's have a look. Interesting place to go around. He get a bit of help. He's just with the... he's coming out of here. I think he's just going to loop it. Back end gets away from him. Yeah, it does. Oh, a big hit in the fence too. So a lot of damage there to Croyce's car. Hence why he dropped to the rear of the field. Let's go back live and pick up an incident at the front. There's cars everywhere there. There's one going backwards, and the other one is Ryan Simpson, I think, who was in the fence. It was Jenna rolling backwards down the field, and I think Simpson is the one that's up against the Armco further up the track. So just while we're coming back from the replay, we've had another incident, and we might have to pick that one up as well. So unfortunately, a couple of our top competitors may have got together on that one. So let's have a look at Brendan Jenner first of all going off the track. In fact, let's go back a bit further. So there's something going on, I think, from this point. Let's have a look. So they're fighting each other down the back straightaway, and they're going to go side by side in there. There was the slightest bit of a touch between Simpson, who might wear a little bit of damage for that one. Let's have another look from a different angle. You guys can be the judge in your judgmental armchairs at home watching this. So Simpson dives to the inside, and you're going to see right there a bit of a pinch as he turned in, and Jenna had to turn it at some point, synchronized spinning, and off they go into the Armco. So unfortunately we lost a couple of our good drivers from the front battle in that instance. We'll go back to live now, lap 6 halfway through, and Eddie Metz has elevated himself to 8th now. He's got Tony Don give him the hurry up, and Metz having a look down the inside on knockholes, and that's the job done. Good overtake. So Eddie's setting that up. Oh, he's gone wide. That'll hurt his exit speed, and knockholes comes back at him, and I think Tony Don might get a good run on him as well. We're on board with Don now. Metz to the right, knockholes in front, and you just saw that Eddie's exit speed by running wide out on the curb has cost him dearly. Knockholes goes down the inside, tries to get the position back. Eddie stays out wide, goes off the track, rejoins. Now we have the inside. Can he hang on to that position? He does. So, oh, there's a bit of contact, and Eddie's going to go around there into the fence. Slightest bit of contact, unfortunately, has looped the car around. And that is heartbreaking for Eddie, because that was a fantastic run he was having. And that all stemmed from that little mistake coming off the exit curb onto the front straightaway, and ends with him in the wall. A bit of contact. Let's have a quick look, and once again you guys can be the judge in this one. So let's try an overhead shot for this one. No, that's not a good shot. Let's try this one. We'll slow it down. Just as he turns in there, Knockholes was up on the curb, and it looks like a bit of net code too, or else Eddie just got up on the curb and bounced the car around and into the fence hard. Big crinkle at the front. Cram! Cram! Damage, unfortunately for Eddie. He won't be happy with that. And he's back in the pits as we go now back to our race leader. 5.9 seconds the lead, 4 laps to go. Benjamin Roberts dominating this first race of 2 races tonight. Now with Eddie in the pit lane, P last, that will put him on pole position if he stays there for the feature race tonight, which will be good for Eddie. Something just happened to Colin Smith. I could hear a noise, and there's Smith in the barrier. And who was the other car with him? Was that Brett Dickey? May have been Brett Dickey, because Brett Dickey's now put himself back in the pit lane. Colin Smith has gone around. Let's have a quick look at this on a replay as well. This is different. So Dickey coming down into the fast part of the circuit. He's just going to lose the back end. Oh, big moment for him. And big hit in the fence. That was a different incident to Colin Smith completely. That's the one we heard on the other shot. You could hear that car idling away. This was Brett Dickey. Now there was contact there with Mark Pryor. Unfortunately, those two have come together, and then Mark Pryor's just waited to redress that position, which took a little while. Eddie Metz back out on the racetrack. Benjamin Roberts, you can see 3 laps to go to take a pretty easy victory here in the first race. That gap now, 8 seconds. So what's happened to Hayden Carroll? He's just dropped back over a second on that lap, and he's going very slowly. Almost thought he might have been out of fuel. He's lost a lot of time. He's lost another second. And is he in fuel trouble? I wonder if he's forgot to put enough race fuel in the car. He's got a gap back to Collins of 3.7. That's now come down to 3.5. So Samuel Collins is honing in on the back of Hayden Carroll here. And I've got a feeling Carroll may have something wrong with that car, because that gap has opened up big time. It was a 1:12.1 the last lap that Carroll did. What's it going to be this time around, and is he heading to the pit lane? No, he's continuing on. Let's give you a lap time as he crosses the line here. It was a 1:12.1. That lap was a 1:15.8, so he lost over 3 seconds on that lap, and Samuel Collins would have seen that. As you see Fowler in the background with Luke Crum, who's moved up 5 positions in this race, and Luke Crum about to try and have a shot here on Michael Fowler. Hard on the brakes into turn 1. Nice smooth exit through there up onto the ripple strip, uses it as a berm and dives down the inside. Big dive down the inside on the McLaren. The McLaren goes, in fact it's McLaren on McLaren, but the other one. Oh, and there's a car off the track that Collins has gone around after doing so well. He's now dropped out of contention for P2 in this race, and that has taken all the pressure off Hayden Carroll as well, and Jordan Knockolds might even get a run here on Samuel Collins as they head down towards the S's. So a couple of mistakes creeping in at the end of this race. We've got a 20-lap reverse grid race coming up after this, so this is the short one, the 12-lapper. Tony Don there in the background, Nichols, Allemans as well, fighting up 5 positions now behind Nichols, and then Brendan Jenner is recovering back to a drive of 11th from, after starting up in the top 5. So second last lap now, penultimate lap it is. Roberts by 10 seconds. There's Kurt Bond in the Porsche chasing down Luke Blattman. I love the livery here on Luke Blattman's Aston Martin. It's very Nissan GTR-ish, isn't it? It's good to see Luke out there tonight. We say good day to all the Blattmans if any of them are watching. Hello. And Ryan Simpson, after his altercation with another driver, now back into 14th place. Where's Jenner? Because they're the 2 cars that got together. Jenner is currently a couple of spots up the road in 11th. There's Gretsch behind him and Medson, not too far back. Behind Medson you've got Colin Smith, Mark Pryor, Ram McClurkin and Eddie Metz. Ran in the background there, still circulating, and 56 seconds off the lead. White flag, 1 to go for Benjamin Roberts. This man is on fire, and he's been smooth and quick throughout this race. His best lap time of 1:11.65, so it did fix that early lap time up, by the way. That first lap, it gives you a funny indication of the fastest lap, and it reverts that one right out of the mix. You can see that first rolling start starting from halfway down the straightaway, hence why the first lap was a 1:10. So it's been pretty easy going for this man in the mini muscle cars. Machine Colt McLaren, the number 37, multiple champion of the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries, Benjamin Roberts. Only a couple of corners to go. Carroll at the moment looks like he's got second in the bag, and Luke Crum, well, he's leading this little train of cars, but he should be able to hang on for a third at this rate. We'll go over to our race leader. 1 corner to go. The checker flag's going to drop, and congratulations, Benjamin Roberts. He takes a win in race number 1. He will start from the rear of grid for race number 2, though, so he's got his work cut out for him in the second race. Hayden Carroll takes second. Good performance for him as well. And then Luke Crum looks like he will take third. He's just got a couple of corners to go as well to beat Michael Fowler, Ross Hansen and Samuel Collins for your top 6. So good job, Luke Crum, there. We've got 3 McLarens in the top 4. Good performance by that car tonight. And splitting them was Hayden Carroll in the Mercedes. We'll come back shortly with hopefully a bit of a chat to Ran, and we'll wrap up those first results before we go to race number 2, about 5 minutes away from now. You're watching RACESTARS TV. If you haven't already, give us a like and a follow. Subscribe on YouTube. Thanks to Taipan Events, we're on YouTube again. Back with you shortly. let's get those race 1 results up on the screen for you now. Just to confirm our race winner there, Roberts by 9.9 in the end, just under 10 seconds. Hayden Carroll, Luke Crum, Fowson, Hanson, your top 5. Then it was Collins, Knockolls, Don, Nichols and Jenner, your top 10. Ormans finished in 11th, with Blackman just behind him. Ryan Simpson back to 13th, Gretsch in 14th. There was Bond, Medicine, Smith and Cry, your top 18. 19th in race 1 went to Ram McClurk, and Eddie Metz 20th. Rick Oyster and Brett Dickey, your top 22. And with a full reverse grid, it will be Brett Dickey on pole position shortly for our second race of the night. Back with you in a couple of minutes, and we'll hit up race 2. Welcome Ran back as we get set for race number 2. Ran, how was it out there, man? You're going to start from P4 on the grid, I think.
Look, it was a very painful race. I kept getting track cuts, and it was making me slow down, but which didn't help because I'm already slow. But yeah, I was debating whether I should just come and chat with you, but I was like, oh no, keep going. I stayed on the lead lap, so that's something, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was dominance by Benny, but he'll have to come through the field in the second race. There was a couple of unfortunate collisions that took Ryan Simpson out of contention, which will put Ryan and also Brendan up further in the grid with his full reverse grid. And also Rue Koistra, watch out for him. He'll start, I think, second row or front row.
Well, he'll be on the front because Brett's got to start from pit lane because he didn't finish enough laps.
Ah, so there you go. So yeah,
you got to finish 80% or 85. I can't remember what I decided, but
so if Koistra can keep it clean, he might be one that's hard to catch.
Yeah, and we've got Eddie up there as well.
Eddie got taken out.
So it's Rue and Eddie, and then there's a roadblock called Ran. I think Mark is starting from pit lane, so Colin doesn't dock his pay tomorrow because he works for Colin. So yeah, look, Kurt will probably start from pit lane. So Ryan could be up pretty far from the front by the second or third corner, definitely onto the back straight. I think it's going to be potentially chaos.
Yeah, and I mean, he needs to get away, Ryan, if he's going to try and win this one, because I think Roberts was about half a second a lap on average quicker every lap in that first race.
I don't know if we've touched on, but Benny won the Motorsport Australia Asia qualifying race last night.
Okay.
No, on Monday night, sorry.
That's in the F3, is that right?
Pardon?
What is that, in an F3 car? What's it in?
Yeah, F3. So he is sitting second in the points overall. The top 4 go through to the Asian Pacific or something championship. So yeah, Benny dominated on Monday night. He flogged him. So he said he's not going to do as well at Suzuka, which is coming up. But yeah, and keep in mind, everybody, Benny's on a G29.
Benny is he? Wow.
Benny is on a G29 in a homemade rig. In my old race seat that got burnt, he's sitting in that. He just fits. And he's got, pretty sure Benny's got a single monitor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. I've got this fancy shit that I'm sitting looking at.
Isn't it like, it wasn't Brock Schaefer on like a laptop or something?
I think it was. I think that was Neil actually, but Brock I think started on pretty average stuff, but he's got okay stuff. But Brock couldn't make it tonight. He's just got a lot on, being a newly married man and his own business and stuff. So he did apologise. Yep.
Well, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We've got 20 seconds to go, and then it's all out war for a full reverse grid 20-lap race at Sandown.
It is, and I reckon if I get really taken out and just bingled, I'll come and chat with you. Do you want me to come and chat with you?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll leave the mic open. So like I say, I may not see you arrive, but just announce yourself.
I will, all right.
Do that. Hello. See you, mate. All right, Rand's gone into get himself ready to race. Full reverse grid race. Let's go to the grid. Will be once again a rolling start as they do in the real world sports sedans, and make sure you go and check out the sports sedans too. If you haven't, go and click on their link and look them up. They've got some real world competition coming up, and definitely if you can get out to a racetrack, do it. I'm hoping I can get up to Sydney for the next one. So let's go down and check out, like I said, the grid for race number 2 tonight, the feature race. Red Dicky will start this full reverse grid race off the front row. Rue Koester will start from second. Eddie Metz will be third on the grid with Ryan McClurkin alongside Mark Pryor and Colin Smith. Now a couple of these drivers will start from the pit lane, so but this is the order that's been set out by iRacing. Medson will start off the 4th row in 7th with Kurt Bond out of 8th, and it's Aaron Gretsch and Ryan Simpson to round out your top 10. Luke Blackman starts from 11th with Daniel Woolman starting from 12th on the grid. Over the page we've got Jenna out of 13th with Shane Nichols 14th, and it's Tony Don 15th and Jordan Knockhouse round out your top 16. 17th on the grid, Samuel Collins will start alongside Ross Hansen. Michael Fowson 19th with Luke Crum in the top 20, and that's Hayden Carroll and Benjamin Roberts starting from the rear of field for this race number 2. Let's take you down to all the action now, and our Mustang safety car will roll away shortly, get us underway. So it looks like Dicky, Pryor and Bond have all started from the pit lane, elevating Rue Koester to pole position. So they roll on through, Koester just weaving there, trying to get a bit of temperature into those front tyres. I think the run into turn 1, we might see some people try and take advantage of a couple of these guys in the reverse grid being a bit tentative and braking a little bit early. Let's see who tries to make some big gains and who is a little bit more patient. Remember, they've got a hold before the start. It was about halfway down the pit straight, so you've got to be really patient just on the start. Koester off the front row with Auntie Val watching. How about that? So Auntie Val's in the house. Hello. And Andrew Rhodes Anderson, g'day mate as well. Welcome tonight. Let's go. Get set for a green. Watch Koester. Watch Metz off the front row as well. He is on the second row technically, but he will get a clear hole shot towards the lead if he can get a good start and preempt maybe the green light. Maybe take a little risk here and preempt that green get-go. Here we go. Australian Sports Sedans round 2, the feature race tonight. There's the green. Good jump off the 3rd row. Medson, he's almost gone straight to the lead here, Medson. Got a real good jump there, 5 wide as they head into turn 1, and so far so good. It looks like they've all got through there. McClurkin stayed in 4th. We've got a spinner in the background, bit of chaos in the back of your picture, but up the front, Koester's got away beautifully. Who else made some gains? Allman's made up 5 spots. Ryan Simpson, as expected, made 4 off the jump. Collins made up a few. I'm trying to find where Roberts is. He made up 7. So Roberts made up 7 spots into the top 15 already, moving along nicely. As we see Koester, Medson and Metz, top 3, trying to stretch away slightly from McClurkin, who's currently holding that 4th position ahead of Colin Smith. Further back as they sneak down through the S's. It's Simpson, 6th now, 7th for Allmans, Gretsch, Jenner, Collins. Overtake going on there as well in the foreground as we see Tony Don has just gone through, and Don is up 3 spots into 12th, so they're moving along nicely, these drivers. Simpson aggressive through there. Off the track goes McClurkin, comes back onto the track on board with Simpson. He's trying to get past Colin Smith here, whilst behind him it's Allmans who's trying to run with him, getting a really good tow. Let's jump on board with Daniel in the Chill Out Motorsport BMW. So he's in behind Simpson, and Smith gets out of the throttle really early there. He'll try and go through as Colin left the door wide open, and he does go through with Simpson. So Simpson now into 4th place. Daniel goes up into 5th. Colin Smith back to 6th in the background. An overlap there. There's a spinner. There's a spinner. It's Blackman who's gone backwards. And Luke Blackman's gone around. We might check out a replay of that one shortly. Meanwhile, out in front though, Koester with a lead, and it's a lead to right home to Arnie Val, about a 0.5 of a second over Medson and Metz. At the moment, Metz will be enjoying this. A bit of clear air. He's, about 7/10 off 2nd place. He can just concentrate now on getting into a rhythm. It's a 20-lap race. So getting yourself in a good rhythm is certainly important, as we see Simpson has to close the deficit of 1.8 seconds to get onto the back of the top 3. Let's have a look at that Blackman incident now. did he do it by himself? Middle of your picture there. Where is he? Blackman turns in, gets right up on the curb, which pushes him across into the front of Don. So he probably will blame himself for that one, unfortunately. And just hitting too much of that curb created a bit of drama and pushes him back in the pack. Thousand as well, challenging here, Nichols. And we've got another spinner as McClurkin. Whoa, big crash for Rand. He goes way off the circuit there. And we may have a quick replay on that too and see where he's lost it. That was high speed. That was down into turn 1. Did he snatch the rear brakes here? Yeah, snatched the rear off across. And did he find the fence? He avoided the fence. That was, oh, he just gave it a little nick with the front end from McClurkin there. So that drops him a little bit back, getting some sore fingers, pushing the replay button. Says Keith, yeah, we've had a few replays tonight. There's a few to watch still. Trying to keep you up on top of all the action as we see Koistra, Medson and Metz still your top 3. Simpson's definitely. Oh, we got a spinner. Medson's gone around. As he got on the throttle now, he's got to be really careful with the rejoin here. He'll flick spin this on the grass, I think. Oh boy, that's going to cost him dearly. I wonder if the traction control is engaged there for him and he couldn't get it turned around. That drops him outside the top 20 from challenging for a podium. Incredible. Roberts now gets up into 8th now. He's on the back of Colin Smith. Jump on board with him. So unlucky there for Medson after what was a great start to the race. As Roberts now trying to pick off another would-be victim in front. Jumps out of the toe here. Colin Smith, I don't think will fight this too hard. We'll see him come alongside and then move in front. And there he goes. So Roberts now up into 7th place. Important gap here. 5.2 seconds. In fact, just come down under 5 seconds now to Ryan Simpson in 3rd. We'll be watching that, and of course 7 seconds. The gap to the leader is one to watch for Roberts as well. He'll chop that down. He's done a 1:12.0 fastest lap of the race as he moves forward in the pack, and that's whilst overtaking competitors as well. We're only on lap 5, so plenty of time to do it. If one person's going to do it, it's Benny Roberts. Meanwhile, Koistra out in front leads by 2.1 seconds. In the background there, Simpson all over the back of Eddie Metz now, having a little bit of a look too. We're on board with Ryan Simpson for Parramatta Smash Repairs. Our sponsor from round 1. Oh, big hit up on the curve there. Now he turns it in, tips it in, and fires it out onto the back straight. What's happened to Allmans? He's gone spinning as well. Another BMW to go around. They're having some stability issues out there, and as I say that, I've put the mockers on them because Knockholes has also gone into the fence in the BMW. So plenty of battles. Look at that one ahead. That's Luke Crum. It's a McLaren party here. Tony Don, Luke Crum and Brett Dickey all together in this little battle, which is fantastic. We're on board with Brett Dickey now for Fast R. And he winds his way down into the braking zone. And they're good looking race cars, aren't they? Or good looking production cars, I should say, these GT4s. As Roberts now just watching his progress on the road a little bit. He'll try and pick off Colin Smith, I think, on this lap. Let's jump on board with Roberts and see if he goes for the big send at turn 1. He's being very patient, Benny Roberts, here, and he has to be. So he's with some pretty quick competitors ahead of him now as well. Collins and Jenner and Simpson, they won't be easy to pick off. And then you'll catch Metz and Koistra. I'm predicting, I'll do the old F1 predicting here. I'm thinking challenging for the lead around lap 19 is my prediction here on lap 6. So it's a long way to go. So just watching while he's trying to overtake cars, that field spread is staying pretty much the same. It's around that 6.3 seconds, 6.6 seconds, and he's got through now on Collins. So he's up into 5th, and he can now get on after Brendan Jenner. How much of a fight will these guys put on? You can see Simpson trying to get past Metz. Still, he hasn't been able to get past Metz over the curb there as well. A bit untidy, but Simpson will get a great exit and should be able to slipstream him down into turn 1. So So he's got a good run here. It's Mercedes against Mercedes. In fact, we've got 3 Mercedes in the top 4. Simpson will now look to the inside. Will he go for the dive? Should do under brakes, and he goes up into P2. Nice overtake, well controlled, well delivered. Simpson second, Metz third, Jenner in behind him fourth, and then it's Roberts looming in the background, and he has closed up a fair bit on this lap as well. Benjamin Roberts. Koistra still leads out in front 3.2 seconds, just increasing that lead, Rue Koistra, which will help him for later on when Roberts does arrive on the scene. Keep an eye as well on Simpson's lap times over the next couple of laps to see if he's going to close the margin down. He was 7/10 slower than Koistra on the last lap as he battled. Let's see what it is at the end of this one. As we look behind, you can see Metz just dropping back and a little bit wrong-footed through there. Jenner almost tripped over him, which helps Roberts close up the margin as well. Onto the back of Jenner. I expect him to go sailing past the two of them shortly. He might get a good run onto the straight here and take a 2-for-1 deal at the end in turn 1. We've lost a couple of competitors. I think Thousand and Tony Don maybe have got together. We'll have a look shortly. We just want to see this overtake. I think Metz under pressure. Looking back, let's go to the chopper cam for this overtake. And down the inside, Jenner on Metz. Job done, leaves the door open. Roberts can't find his way through just yet. Thousand is off the track. There he is. So there's a lot going on between those competitors. In fact, Thousand now back in the pit lane and parking up. There's your gap between your top 5. And Benjamin Roberts now about to overtake Eddie Metz by the looks of things. Here it goes. Roberts down the inside. Metz leaves the door well and truly adrift. Will he fight it? We've already seen tonight what happens when you go side by side through here. It doesn't end well. And he backs out of it. Let's Roberts go through P4 now. Further back in the pack, Hayden Carroll dicing here with Shane Nichols and Mark Price just ahead of them. You see Aaron Gretsch in the background as well. Carroll about to have a look here at Shane Nichols. Oh, good overtake. Nichols getting out of the throttle there and giving up that position pretty easily. Up the road from them, you got Kurt Bond and Tony Don in their own little battle. And then Colin Smith and Ross Hansen. This is the battle over 7th place. I've just been watching on the telemetry screen as they all have their little inter-battles in different parts of the racetrack. Good to see Rand still out there. He said he's going to come and commentate if he crashes out, but he's still, you know, having a run here up against Luke Blackman. A couple of Aston Martins back down the order. 19th and 20th. They'll be enjoying this, no doubt. Let's go back to the top. Battle for the top 4. So this is now Roberts attacking Jenner for P3. So he's gone from the back of the field now onto the podium. Koistra up ahead. Only 1.6 seconds now between Koistra and Simpson. And that field spread to Roberts now, 3 seconds. So I think my lap 19 prediction was out by about 8 or so laps. We're going to have Roberts on the scene very, very soon indeed. Let's jump down onto the nose camera again. And right on board for a lap, just like this. So looming up very, very quickly, isn't he? Benjamin Roberts now within 1.5 seconds of the lead, and Rue Koistra about to become mincemeat, I think, here for Ryan Simpson. He's moved across to the left-hand side. Koistra to try and block it off. Simpson goes even further and down the inside Has he outbraked himself? He has. So Simpson's gone deep. Now Roberts may sneak through here on Simpson. He doesn't. But it's all changing now at the top here on lap 11. Brendan Jenner also being very watchful in the background. He's ready to pounce as we exit onto the back straight now. And the gap between Koistra, Simpson and Roberts is very even now, about 4/10 between the three of them. And you can see Jenner in the background flashing the headlights. He's just letting them know that he's still there. He's still there and ready to go. Over the rear wing of the Aston Martin. Look how close Simpson is. He's got to be patient here, Simpson. If he makes any sort of mistake in this overtake, Roberts will take both of them. So it's such a hard thing to attack and defend at the same time. Roberts just at the moment eyes forward. He won't be too worried about Jenner, who's tucked in behind him. Look at the lap speed, 4/10 of a second, 5/10 a lap before, over 1 second quicker on that lap. Now he's got to run on Simpson down the pit straight. Simpson's moved across, and Roberts is going to go the long way around the outside. Oh, that was close, and he does get it done. So Roberts from the rear of field now into P2, and you'd probably think here that Koistra may only lead this race for another half a lap or so before we find Roberts once again in the lead like he did in race 1. Once he got into the lead in race 1, he was home and hosed. So Koistra leaving the door open there. Oh, he's really out of shape there, Roberts. Simpson dives down the inside, took advantage of that moment as well. And he got mugged there, didn't he, Rue Koistra? He's gone from 1st to 4th in the space of a corner. And they were aggressive on their way through, as they tend to be, these guys. Let's have a look on the mini replay down the bottom of your screen. So Roberts was over the curb sideways up against Koistra. Then watch Simpson. He sees the door open for a minute and bang, down the inside. He slams it through there and Jenner goes with him. And Koistra goes back to P4. Let's see if Simpson can stay here with the race leader. Benjamin Roberts with 7 and a bit laps to go, or will he clear off into the distance? We look back further though. Don and Bond, a couple of Wily Foxes here in 12th and 13th place. Hey Tyson, thanks for the stars, man, and how you doing? Keith Logan says Merc is the best sound in all iRacing cars, I reckon. Yeah, it sounds awesome. I love the Merc GT3 car. This one sounds pretty good as well. Metz still racing in 5th place, ahead of Samuel Collins and Ross Hansen. It's all pretty gapped out now around the midfield. There's not a lot of battles going on except for that one between Kurt Bond, like I said, Kurt Bond and Tony Don. And Don about to find a little Porsche, slide down the inside, which he does. Job done. So Kurt Bond now up into 12th place. That was a good overtake, set him up well down the back straight down the inside. So there's your top 3 going through. Now Siri tries to get involved. There goes Collins down the inside on Metz. They're still having a good fight actually. Let's just watch that for a minute. Metz holding on. Siri's really trying to get involved here in the conversation, by the way. My watch. I've got to stop saying Siri. So Eddie Metz, can he hang on here for a top 5? Big thanks to Eddie. And of course Dandenong Brake Clutch for coming on board and being the sponsor for this round of the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries. Hey, and I'm joined by Ran. He didn't announce himself, but hello, mate.
Oh, I just crashed and then I was like, you know what, I'll come and entertain you. And
let's go watch your crash.
Yeah, I was struggling, but yeah. Anyway, what's going on? Roberts has taken the lead. Did he take out Rue?
I don't know. No, he got through. It was a pretty aggressive overtake, but he didn't take him out. That's for sure.
Oh, you're gonna watch me crash?
We just watched you crash. Yeah. We have to watch that. We have to see why you're joining us in the commentary box.
That was a shit crash.
Yeah. So Roberts out in front by half a second. Simpson went with him. Rue's dropped back to 4th. Rue got mugged. I can show you on the mini replay. Here you go. Have a look. This is the overtake, top of your screen. So Roberts, aggressive as always, across the curves. Watch this on Koistra. Clean overtake, but was really, really out of shape as he came back on the track there. Then Simpson mugs Koistra down the inside, and Jenner goes with him. So Rue's gone from 1st to 4th in the space of about 100 metres, sadly.
Rue did say that it was pretty exciting, so he wasn't too upset.
Nah, he'd be loving it, of course. And he's got his Auntie Val watching and Mum Sher watching as well, so hello to both of them.
He said you'd be frothing on it.
Frothing.
I think he means in like the drinking sense, obviously.
Yeah, of course. It's, this has been a good battle too. Back here, Luke Crum and Colin Smith. And who's the other guy? Ross Hanson was just there for a while. And you know what? Your old mate Eddie Metz, he's been having a good ding-dong as well with this guy, Samuel Collins. This has been good to watch.
Yeah, well, hopefully no one takes him out because he deserves a good one. And I think it's great to see Smith up there with Crum as well because they were struggling a little bit. So, yeah, there's some good battles through the field, isn't there?
Yeah, Eddie's driving really well. Watch this. He'll be defensive. And he's been alongside, well, he's had Colin Smith alongside him a couple of times in the last few laps. But he's held his own, Eddie.
Well, he doesn't back out. He's not shy in coming forward. And look, to be honestly, Sammy will be the same. He's a pretty elbows out kind of racer as well. So it could be pretty interesting seeing these two.
Because both these guys are obviously real world racers.
Yeah, Eddie obviously in the 2-litre, and Sammy's in like the Queensland Sports Sedans combined sort of thing. So he has a Sylvia, an S13 with a Chev in it.
Mad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember seeing him run at Winton against a local guy there, and they had a great time.
Oh, he's just made a mistake there. Eddie has gone in deep and lost that 5th position. So after giving him a huge wrap, those little mistakes catch up on you, don't they? That's going deep in there, and you lose a lot of time.
We definitely, and I'm really impressed that the commentators' curse works in sim racing.
It does.
Not just real life. I was watching them race in Queensland, and they were doing that a fair bit. They're doing a bit of the commentators' curse. So hopefully, Eddie can compose himself and get back on the back of Sammy. He's probably got the speed to be able to slowly catch up, especially if Sammy has any issue anywhere.
And up the front too, Roberts hasn't pulled away from Simpson. Now I wonder if Roberts is going, well, if I pull away, I get no airtime because it's boring. I wonder if he's hanging back a bit, or else Ryan is quick, and I'm looking at the best lap times. They're only a 10th apart in the favour of Roberts outright.
Yeah, I don't think Benny would be worrying about airtime too much. He's right into race strategy and thinking about the best way to do the race. So he's probably been conservative and just running clean laps, and he's probably just watching Ryan's in the relative and just seeing where he is and probably adjusting according to that, where Ryan, I think, will be all out trying to get him. Yeah,
well, you look at those lap times, and we'll wait till this one ticks over into lap 17 completed. And we get a time on the screen, but okay, so that was a bit different. He lost 6 tenths on that lap, Simpson, but I was going to say the 2 laps before that, he lost 39 thousandths and 39 thousandths, so identical deficits in those previous 2 laps, and very minimal deficits too.
Mate, and I'm very impressed by your F1 style overlays. That's super cool. I'm looking at that now, going, wow. Yeah, look, it's great to see. You look, Ryan obviously has raced in GT3 in the real world. So I think Benny should be pretty proud of himself being able to keep in front. I know it's sim racing, but there's definitely some level of real life type of motor sport skills involved.
I reckon he's done some laps around here, probably in a Formula 4 too, Ryan Simpson.
Mate, I'm sure he has. Where Benny, I don't think, has driven a race car on the track.
There you go.
Which he needs to be in one, doesn't he? I know his old man's trying to put in one, and maybe that will happen down the track, but he's definitely enjoying his sim racing, and it's great to see him excelling at it.
I'm just looking at some stats now for Ryan Simpson, and I can tell you right now, if these stats are right, like I've just done a Google search, but he's got a 42.2% race win percentage. Races entered 180 and 76 wins in the real world racing. That's for,
are you absolutely kidding me?
That's for Formula Ford, yeah.
He's proper, isn't he? He's
yeah.
A proper race driver.
Yeah, I mean he's got lap records all over the place, you know.
And we've got Aaron Gretsch as well, who has won the New South Wales Formula 4 title, I believe.
Yep. But if you,
so, you know, that's pretty impressive, I reckon. And
I'm rolling down his stats here, and he's got in 2018 first the Australian Production Car Series outright, so he got first in that. He was third in the Bathurst 6-hour Extreme Performance Force Induction in 2017. He was obviously first in the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge in 2015. And mate, he's done some stuff when you read down the list.
was he hanging out with us idiots?
He loves it. And you know what, he was first in Formula V's in the Australian and also the Australian Nationals back in 2006. He was first in that category. And Formula Ford, he was first in 2008 for New South Wales. So New South Wales champion 2008 Formula Ford. And he's P2 in this race.
Yeah, so it's super impressive stats, and good on him. And he enjoys doing this. And I think we're kind of a little bit honoured that he's here, to be honest.
No, it's awesome, and a good race here. It's gonna round out looking, 2.5 seconds between the top two. It looks like it's pretty spread out, but it has been some really, really decent racing. Looking back a little bit further, Colin Smith trying to hang on for 8th here with Knockholes and Carroll. It's been interesting to watch the BMWs once again struggle a little bit around this circuit. I don't know if they're a little bit unstable in their setup, but they just haven't seemed as planted as the other cars.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like, obviously, iRacing handles the BOP.
Yep.
When I was looking at setting these cars up, everything looked, depending on the track, and everything looked to change. So hopefully, some of the later tracks suit the BMW, so those boys have a chance.
Koistra getting attacked here by Samuel Collins for 4th place. So it's going to be out of these two, but we should go back to the leader because he's only got a corner to go. And put our hands together for Benjamin Roberts to win a double tonight. First in both races for the Australian Sports Sedans eSeries round number 2 of season 13. Goes to Benjamin Roberts. Ryan Simpson gets 2nd, and Brendan Jenner rounds out your top 3. That's a good performance for him as well.
It definitely is, considering that he has half a finger missing. So
yeah, he said that tonight, racing one-handed.
Old 1-amp Jenner, I don't think he's probably quite heavily medicated, so I think that's quite impressive.
Collins.
Flashing his lights.
Yeah, Collins gets 4th, Koistra 5th, Metz ends up 6th in the end, so he'll be happy with that. And Ross Hansen 7th, Carroll 8th. Smith will get 9th, just ahead of Jordan Knockholes straight at your top 10.
Yeah, good old Bond, starting from pit lane, has done quite well as well.
He has, and he's had some good scraps too. And you know what, look at that car, there's not a scratch on it for someone who's been engaged in a few battles tonight. That is a good effort. Nothing wrong with that car at all.
And he's probably watching sprint cars on the TV next to his monitor if we know what he's like. So yeah, look, what a great round. There's some good racing. Not too many sad faces. So
no sad faces.
Yeah, pretty successful.
Awesome. Well, we'll get some drivers in hopefully for a chat shortly, and we'll bring up the results on the screen too. But Rand, it's been fun. Let's see if we can get. We'll get Robert, Simpson, and Jenner of course in, but we'll try and get Eddie for one last chat as well.
Yeah, definitely. As you're doing that, I'm scrolling up to see where we're racing next, because I forgot.
Because you know I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
I'll give you about 3 minutes before I ask that question. But yeah, this is round 2. I've obviously Lime Rock the first round of this series. We've got this week Sandown, and then of course next week we then head off to Silverstone.
But it's the classic Silverstone.
Excellent. I like that. That's fun. Hey,
yeah, so that should be pretty different again. Maybe they'll suit the BMWs.
Brendan Jenner's found the traction control off button, which is good to see.
I'd love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's smoking it down there. But there's Roberts parked on the grid, and they're doing burnouts around him. Ryan Simpson as well, not shying, ripping a set of Pirellis off that car, and he's also wrapping up a big donut for us there. So we'll grab him in for a chat. We'll start with our race winner tonight. Congratulations, Benjamin Roberts, with a double tonight, winning it from the back of the grid in the feature race.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Those last sort of few laps were sort of pretty easy once I was out in front, but sort of getting to the lead got a bit tricky at times. Had a couple of close calls in the first couple of laps, getting past crashes, and then sort of getting around Roo got a bit interesting coming down into Danny Road.
Saw that. It was pretty out of shape, mate. We'll show that replay again up on the screen as you went down there, and it was it was pretty epic.
Well, originally I was just going to show the nose, and then actually backed off to try and let me through, so I ended up going side by side, and then I sort of hit the curbs on the inside and got all out of shape, and sort of thought I was going to end up in the wall for a second, but luckily it sort of all ended up pretty good for everyone.
Good job. And then Ryan, P2 tonight, man. You also had to fight your way through the field. Congratulations.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah, started probably mid-pack. Just had some contact with BJ in the first race. 2 into 1 at the end of the back straight doesn't work. So, yeah, the last race I was just hoping I could get a bit quicker through the traffic, but kept getting held up. So I let Ben catch up, and yeah, just struggling to get grip with this car. But yeah, otherwise, good night. Thanks. Had fun.
Awesome job. And then finally, Brendan, well done, mate, on the podium, P3.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I'm pretty wrecked. It's a bit hard to race one-handed, but yeah, probably had too much wing to take it to the front too. But I'll take P3 any day.
Yeah, great job tonight. Rand, any questions you want to throw to the boys before we go to thank yous?
I suppose start with one. Jenna, how are you racing tonight, you old fingerless boy?
So, I've got a button mapped. It's my clutch button is mapped as my downshift button, so I just had to pretty much just reteach myself how to downshift differently. But yeah, it's all right. I think I'm losing a little bit of time each lap, but it's better than the auto shift, I guess.
No, it definitely is. And I suppose we should quickly touch on Benny kicking ass in the series that he's doing. Benny, can you, in the shortest version, give us a quick rundown of how that's going?
Yeah, so I'm doing a series with Motorsport Australia. So there's a qualify series for an Asia Pacific championship. I need top 4 in it. I won this week at Bathurst, second in points, and I've got one more race next week to decide who goes through.
Oh, awesome. Awesome work. And Ryan, we were going through your stats on Google while you're racing. Why are you hanging out with us when you're so accomplished as a race driver?
Yeah, I don't think my records are quite as good in sim racing, Rand, to be honest. I might have to do the convert back soon. Yeah, but yeah, had some great years racing, mate. So yeah, good experiences, and kept a pretty clean record.
And do you have any, just out of interest, are you going back into any real racing anytime soon, or just focusing on work?
Yeah, work takes up a lot, to be honest, and since COVID, nothing sort of sprung up, but never say never. Always talking to some people, so yeah, just got to pull it all together, and might have another go. But if not, I've had plenty of good races, so yeah, here we are tonight doing some sim racing.
Yeah, well, Luke and I were talking about how stoked we are that you're part of the series, so thanks for being part of it. And good, we were watching the race. Did you think you got anything for Benny, or do you think with these GT4 cars, it's just a bit of a different technique and you're still sort of getting your head around it?
I think, yeah, there's something with iRacing and just finding where the grip is. I think that I overdrive the car a lot and lose the grip, so it's just a matter of tuning that in, and there's so many different things you can try that I'm sure I'd love to get some tips from Benny, but yeah, just trying to dial in where the grip is and hopefully find a few more tenths.
No, awesome. That's understandable. Hopefully maybe Benny will do some lessons for us all. Maybe we can do some instructional Bennies. Benny's like, yeah, sure, not a problem. Then he's like, no, you guys can practice. That's what you got to do. Look, to be fair, I've noticed, obviously, Ryan, I've noticed you practicing a fair bit, but I've definitely noticed, you know what, the guys up the front, I've noticed when I have a look at the practice sessions, they're practicing. And I think that's from, I remember talking to Tony Ricciardello about this, 11-time national champion. He goes, you need to, on the sim, he goes, if you're not on it every day, he goes, it's very different. He can hop into his race car and he hasn't driven it for 6 months, and within a few laps he's on the pace. He goes, sim racing is very different to that. So, you know, all the props to Benny, Brendan and Ryan. They've obviously put in some time to dial it in, and it shows, and good on them. They're getting the results.
Sure. Before we do the thank yous, let's bring up the championship points. This is how they stand after 2 rounds. And Robert's on top on 72 points versus Brock Schaefer on 71. Is that right? How can Brock be so close after missing tonight's round?
That doesn't sound right, does it?
Oh, well, that's what I've just been sent by Rue Coyce to say. Anyway, did you have a shocker in round 1 or something, Benny? I can't remember.
I think that must be the points from round 1 still.
Oh, well, there you go then. Thanks, Rue.
Let me just have a look. Oh, no, he's put the new points up. No, so it's, okay, I'll help you, Luke.
You help me.
Benny is on 147. Sammy is on 123.
Where are you getting
Rue
these
is on-
points from?
This is what he sent me.
He's given me the wrong link. He sent
And then, like, Rue is next, on 88. Ross on 87. Obviously, Ryan's way down because he's only on 48 because he missed round 1. So, it's Benny, Sammy, and Rue. Ross, H, Brendan, Brock. Yeah, Brock's fallen down on 71 points. So I don't know what you're looking at.
Oh, he sent me a different tab, but I'm just trying to make this. I can't zoom in. Rue, we'll try again next week.
But but Benny's definitely is on 147, Sammy 123, and Rue is 88. That's your top 3.
Very good. All right, let's do the thank yous. Starting off with thank yous from Benny Roberts.
Big thanks to yourself, Luke, and to Ran, of course, Machine Cult, Mini Muscle Cars, Ben Hur Signs, Dream Simulation, and to everyone else for watching all these streams and allowing this to happen.
Awesome job. Ryan, P2 tonight, who would you like to thank?
Well done to Ben. Too fast. Got to catch him. Otherwise, Parramatta Smash Bears, yourself, Luke, Rain again, and happy to be back.
Great job. And then P3 in the feature tonight, Brendan, who would you like to thank?
Congratulations to the 2 boys in front. Done good. Cheers to you, Luke, for putting on a great stream. Also, big thanks to Ran for the paint, putting on all the sessions, and some of my mates that were tuning into the stream. Hopefully I did all right.
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, the paint looks sick. Well done. So thanks for dropping in, guys. Well done for the racing. Looking forward to next week at Silverstone Classic. And we're on a Tuesday. Is that right, Ran, next time?
Far out. I'll have to have a bloody look, won't I?
I'll quickly look as well. I think it's something a bit funky for round 3.
August the 16th? Is that right?
Yeah, so Tuesday. So Tuesday next week for Australian Sports Sedans.
Yeah, and then we have a bit of a break until September the 7th.
Yeah, we do.
Which is partly me and partly you, isn't it, Luke? I think the reason why we're doing that.
Yeah, I've got a free Wednesday now. I'm not sure what's going on there, Ran, but I know my Wednesday.
I go to Queensland for work, and then New South Wales, and then I'll be at the New South Wales National and State round, just helping the boys. I won't be racing, so I think because I run the series, I just went stuff it. I'll just push it back another week, and no one complained. So I'll put up lots of test sessions for the boys.
Sounds good. Well, it's fun again tonight. Thanks to your top 3, Benny, Ryan, and Brendan. And thanks, Ran, as always, man, for coming in for a chat. Love the series. Always good hanging out on a Wednesday, mate.
Cheers, Luke, and thanks for everyone for watching. And keep in mind, there's lots of real sports sedans happening. And there's a Australian Sports Sedan group. It's the official one. Join that, and you'll get to see everything that's happening in the sim and the real world.
Awesome. Well, that'll do us for tonight. Ran, you're a legend. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Cheers, bud. See you, everyone.
See you, mate. Good night.